First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then, they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then, they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then, they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. What's up, fam of Liberty, and also everyone else watching this video who isn't following our channel for some unknown reason? It's your new best friend, Big Sarge, or the artist formerly known as Admin Tim. I'm the founder of the Sons of Liberty social media organization that's been steadily shitposting and enraging MAGA fuckface ass clowns since 2015. If you saw us out in the streets at a protest for the first time and or you're new to our channel, I know what you might be thinking, so let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck neo-Nazi illegal immigrant Elon Musk. Fuck GOP politicians. Fuck the silent Democrat politicians. And fuck the billionaires, wealth hoarders that have their fucking boots on the neck of every American citizen. This channel and its comment sections are not a safe space for bootlicking simps for an adjudicated rapist, failed insurrectionist, wannabe authoritarian tyrant, convicted felon, wish.com fascist oligarch. The list goes on and on. Oh, and his sugar daddy, the actual president, the world's biggest supervillain manchild from South Africa that nobody fucking elected. Now you know where I stand on things. So if you're still here and you're not frantically rage typing into the comments box like a triggered snowflake who thought cute winter boots was code word for something violent because that's all you know how to do is be violent, then maybe consider following the channel after you watch the video and decide whether or not you like the cut of my jib. First order of business is housekeeping stuff. At 7 p.m. this coming Wednesday, 5 February, Sons of Liberty will be doing a live stream with former U.S. Navy pilot Ken Harbaugh, a political activist for Valor Media and Meidas Touch Network. Ken is one of the people behind the documentary Against All Enemies, which is an excellent documentary about the rise of violent extremism in America. One of the other people behind that documentary, by the way, is Sebastian Junger. And if you don't know who that badass is, he did some incredible Afghanistan documentaries. So make sure you go to our YouTube channel, click the live stream tab, and set it to get notifications for that event. On the subject of 05 February, there's a planned protest across the country in all 50 states. So it's called something like 50501. I've seen some chatter on social media, but one thing I haven't seen is who's actually responsible. Some of the staff of Liberty personnel did some digging and we're coming up with a little bit of conflicting information. I'm not saying that it's a sham or an op. What I am saying is that it's a little difficult to pin down who's actually been organizing this, and is this a grassroots thing or is it backed by a party or a PAC or what? We've had a couple people in the family of Liberty and the staff of Liberty confirm that they've met with protest organizers in person, so my thoughts are that this is legit. Now, like I said in my last video, I personally can't afford to be out there protesting in the middle of the work week. Your boy's a broke bitch, and I've got rent and groceries, and this shitty-ass economy that Donald Trump has created isn't making that easier. But I fully get why it's being held in the middle of the week, disrupting the workforce and hoping for massive turnout. Now, again, there's conflicting information on who's behind the upcoming protest, and some folks have questioned its legitimacy. But it's too widespread to be an op to round people up, so I don't think it's that. What I will say is that leading up to the 18th January protests, I put out a couple of videos pertaining to building a first aid kit, being safe at rallies, and what gear you should bring to a rally. I also caution you to be cognizant of your surroundings, have a buddy and an exit strategy, and to be wary of agitators looking to cause problems, and not just counter-protesters or agitators either. So above all else, if you go to these things, fucking be safe, and your priority isn't to protest. Your priority at a protest is to make it home safely. Last thing on protests. Tomorrow, February 4th, there is a protest being planned for 5 p.m. at the U.S. Treasury Department. If you're in the area, show the fuck up. Heads on a swivel. Don't get crazy. Watch out for agitators. If you're a government or federal contractor, then you already know Muskolini has halted Treasury Department payments to contractors. Get out there and get fucking loud. All right, now let's get into the heart of today's video. In case you somehow managed to escape the internet over the past 2 days, over the weekend, Shadow President Elon Muskolini, a South African illegal immigrant who nobody fucking elected, somehow managed to topple the USAID organization. They didn't shut down USAID. They illegally broke into a secure facility over a weekend, hijacked sensitive data on vulnerable people and U.S. businesses, destroyed property that Americans paid for, cut off resources for sick and hungry families, and fired Americans across the country. Meanwhile, to paraphrase Eminem, motherfuckers act like they forgot about Luigi. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Somehow managed to topple the USAID organization, framing them as quote-unquote criminal organization that quote-unquote must die. Agents of Elon Muskolini, most of whom don't have any type of security clearance or any kind of badge of office, are taking access to files and databases, including classified files and personnel files. They meet off with the entire Treasury database and have your personal identifiable information, or PII, as well as your social security and financial information. And evidently, the Office of Personnel Management, some OPM employees barricaded the doors over the weekend and pulled watch because some of Musk's people were trying to gain access. With a tiny amount of digging, I've been able to learn the identities of some of the people behind this. The ringleaders appear to be a bunch of fucking teenage kids. Nothing against teenagers, but I was one. And even at ages 18 through 20, despite being in the military, I was still a punk kid. These guys are all apparently self-taught engineers or have some college education. They're between the ages of 19 and 24. They've worked at one of Elon Muskolini's companies. In some cases, they also have connections to Peter Thiel, a known fascist and friend of Elon Muskolini. And Peter Thiel himself has publicly gone on record that he is opposed to democracy. I need you to let that sink in for a second. The engineers are Akash Bobba. I'm probably fucking that guy's name up, but you know what? I don't even give a fuck. Akash Bobba, Edward Coristine, Luke Farritor, Gautier, Killian, Gavin Kliger, I don't know, and Edward Shaotran. None of them is older than 24. Impressionable kids, one of whom is only a volunteer and not any kind of paid government employee. Impressionable kids, some of whom are still in college, one of whom just graduated high school, are taking over government databases simply because Elon Muskolini said that they can. Nobody fucking elected this dude, and nobody deputized his bootlicking cronies. And they're tied to a guy who says he is opposed to democracy. Congress has no ability to really intervene and monitor what's happening because these aren't really accountable public officials. So what we are witnessing in real time is a hostile takeover of the machinery of governments by the richest man in the world and a bunch of kids who have no government experience, aren't accountable to anyone in government, don't have security clearances, and aren't sworn officials, who are actively seizing your personal and financial information. You need to contact your elected officials today. Your two senators, the senior and junior senator, and your House rep. When you call them, you need to very clearly state who you are, where you live, and that you are a registered voter, even if you're not. At this point, I don't even give a fuck if you lie to the government. You need to tell these people that you are aware of what's going on. And we have if you go on the Sons of Liberty Discord server, there's a channel called The Flower Garden. I'm not going to say why it's called The Flower Garden, but in that there's a thing that you can email to your congressperson. Use that as your phone script. The priority here needs to be visiting their office in person if you are able, or calling them. I know some of you are like, I don't like using the phone, but you need to get off your fucking ass and you need to fucking make a phone call. So have a phone script ready to talk about the issue. If they don't answer, leave a message. More than likely, you will speak to an aide and not the actual congressperson. What you need to emphasize is that you want a callback from this elected official with an actionable plan of how they plan to address your concerns. Don't be threatening. Don't be like, I'm going to remember this at the polls. Don't make anything that sounds like a threat. After you do that, then send an email. And again, go into the Sons of Liberty Discord server. Mikey, what are you doing? Go into the Sons of Liberty Discord server and pull up that script in the Flower Garden channel. So the next thing we're going to do is name names of each of these people. So here we go. Akash Bobba attended UC Berkeley, where he was in the prestigious Management Entrepreneurs HIP and Technology program. According to a copy of his now deleted LinkedIn, because that's not at all suspicious, Bobba was an investment engineer intern at the Bridgewater Associates hedge fund as of last spring and was previously an intern at both Meta and Palantir. Palantir is Peter Thiel's firm. He was a featured guest on a since-deleted podcast, also not suspicious, with Aman Manazir, an engineer who interviews engineers about how they landed their dream job. Edward Coristine appears to have recently graduated from high school and to have been enrolled at Northeastern University, according to a copy of his resume obtained by a tech reporting outlet called Wired. He spent 3 months at Neuralink, Muscolini's brain-computer interface company, which, as far as I know, isn't really doing well at all. Both Bobba and Coristine are listed in internal OPM records as experts at OPM, reporting directly to Amanda Scales, its new chief of staff. Scales previously worked on talent for XAI, Muscolini's artificial intelligence company, and as part of Uber's talent acquisition team, per her LinkedIn. Employees at GSA have also said that Coristine appeared on calls where workers were made to go over code that they had written and justify their jobs. Coristine was added to a call with GSA staff members using a non-government Gmail address. Employees were not given an explanation as to who he was or why he was on the calls. Luke Farritor, who per sources has a working GSA email address, is a former intern at SpaceX, Muskolini's space company, and currently a Teal Fellow after, according to his LinkedIn, dropping out of the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Gavin Kliger, whose LinkedIn lists him as a special advisor to the director of OPM and who is listed in internal records as a special advisor to the director for information technology, attended UC Berkeley until 2020. Most recently, according to his LinkedIn, he worked for the AI company Databricks. His Substack includes a post titled The Curious Case of Matt Gaetz, How the Deep State Destroys Its Enemies, as well as another titled Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, The Warrior Washington Fears. Gautier Cole Killian, also known as Cole Killian, has a working email address associated with DOGE, where he's listed as a volunteer, according to internal records. According to a copy of his now deleted resume, also not suspicious, also obtained by Wired, he attended McGill University through at least 2021 and graduated high school in 2019. An archived copy of his now deleted personal website indicates that he worked as an engineer at Jump Trading, which specializes in algorithmic and high-frequency financial trades. Ethan Shaotran gave an interview with Business Insider this past September and said that he was a senior at Harvard studying computer science and also the founder of an open AI-backed startup, Energize AI. Shaotran was the runner-up in a hackathon held by XAI, Muskolini's AI company. In the Business Insider article, Shaotran says he received a $100,000 grant to build his speaking assistant, Spark. There's something else that we need to discuss now that you know who these kids are and what is their background and their allegiance. The breach of data at the Office of Personnel Management by college kids with no background checks and unsecured electronic devices means that the personal identifying information, or PII, of every agent who works at the FBI, the CIA, or every other sensitive position is now compromised. Now these kids can create a database and use an AI engine to compare it up against other databases and identify every email and social media account, home addresses, friends, relatives, identities, and connections between FBI and CIA agents and their families and informants. Remember what I said about their various backgrounds? They can then trade all of this information to Russia, the Saudis, or whoever else they need to do their dirty work for them to target their enemies. From my perspective as a former intelligence community professional with a TS-SCI clearance and having had to go through countless trainings on how to properly store and handle classified information, the fact that this was allowed to happen is a major fucking felony. Given that their shadow president, Elon Muskolini, has a very close relationship to Vladimir Putin and the total lack of accountability, we are now on borrowed time. These kids need to be arrested, and that's the polite part of what I'm really thinking. Folks, we're fucked. This country and its government are about to be badly compromised, and if we have a democracy left in 2026, I don't know what that's going to look like. Untold millions of dollars worth of damage are being done every day, and that's just to the government infrastructure. The cost of rebuilding this and setting it right after 4 years of this, and that's if they don't somehow manage to overturn the Constitution and make it so that Trump can stay in office for life like his buddy Vladimir Putin. If we even have a chance to set this right in 2028 elections, it'd be a fucking miracle at this point. Now, my last video was a sharp criticism of the Democratic Party politicians who are seemingly doing nothing. And to be fair, they've lost the majority in the House and the Senate, so there's not a whole lot of official things that they can do other than stymie legislation and drag things out. That in and of itself is a long game, but it feels like there's nothing short-term that can be done. In the interim, about the only thing it feels like they can do is just take to social media and absolutely howl about it all day, every day. I want to remind each and every one of you that every act of resistance, no matter how small or insignificant, is still an act of resistance. You don't have to fucking go out there and be big dog at a protest. You don't have to create and manage your own big protest yourself. As an example of what I'm talking about, signing up the OPM reporting email for porn and Democratic Party mailers is still an act of resistance. Engaging in whatever boycott you can is still an act of resistance. And if you can't boycott, that's okay. I get it. My podunk little town makes it hard for me too. But keep that shit up because the resistance starts with us. Want to know how you can get involved in the Sons of Liberty resistance movement? We've organized local Sons of Liberty chapters by region. Please do not ask me in the comments sections if we have a chapter in such and such state or such region. Get on Discord because rule number 1 of Sons of Liberty Fight Club is that we don't talk about Sons of Liberty Fight Club. I have a whole ass video on a subject called Operation Security or OPSEC, and if it's a foreign concept to you, then you need to watch that video. Some of you rewatch it. I promote the shit out of the Sons of Liberty Discord server in almost every video that I do, so that way social media tech oligarchs like Mark Zuckerberg and Shadow President Elon Musk can't deplatform us. They can't touch us on Discord. On our Discord, our staff does moderate or censor our content. For example, we don't allow Fed posting and deranged, fringe, lunatic conspiracy gibberish. We don't allow violent or graphic content. If it's against Discord's terms of service, we're not going to let somebody tear apart the community that you built. We also don't allow harassment of staff members or other members of the Family of Liberty, so don't be a fucking troll. On our Discord server, we have region sections with helpful resources specific to those regions. In these spaces, you can organize with local Family of Liberty for boots on the ground types of events like local protests and sit-ins, or action campaigns like flooding your local elected representatives with concerned calls and emails. You can learn about practical things such as self-defense courses. You can find self-defense and firearms instructors who are local to you and who are left-leaning. You can learn about growing your own food in your own victory gardens and then canning and jarring and preserving that food. You can figure out your shit hits the fan contingency plans, build first aid kits and bug out bags, and link up with other Fam of Liberty members who can assist you with, say, moving to safety if you need to be safe, or take you camping in case you find yourself in need of a camping railroad getaway with an aunt or an uncle. We have off-topic places for you to post your art, your cosplay, post your favorite music, your slash fanfic or other written word content, just general bullshitting around. There's a channel for veterans called the DD214 Blanket Fort. You can also get updates from our various social media platforms, which does make our Discord ping heavy thanks to the webhooks that integrate our various social media notifications. But you can disable those in the channel appropriately named ping roll. If you're having trouble with Discord, I have a whole ass YouTube tutorial about the Sons of Liberty Discord server. If you need assistance, start with that video. The invite link to our Discord server is in the Throatpunch at the end of this video and at all of our other videos. The invite link is also in the YouTube video description and in the YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions. If you like the shirts or the hoodie that I wear in my videos, some of them, but not all of them, are available in the Sons of Liberty merch store if Etsy doesn't take me down for content violations. The merch store is listed in our link tree in our YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions and in the YouTube video description. I put up new merch all the time. I just put up some yesterday or the day before, so you should go on and check that shit out. I've also got stuff like rolls of stickers in 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, I can't remember. I can't remember specifically, but I price those as low as I can without having to take a loss myself. If you like our video content, we have a whole social media presence elsewhere, so we'd appreciate it if you would follow us on all of our other socials, whichever ones that you yourself have. The various socials that we have are listed in the Throatpunch at the end of our videos and in the link tree, which can be found, again, on the YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions. On YouTube and TikTok, we'd also appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and get notifications on our channel. It's a little bit of a different process on TikTok, but if you're on TikTok, you already know that. Anyway, fuck TikTok for shadow banning us and censoring our content there. You can help us extend our reach by sharing our video content on all of your socials. Go find the relevant Sons of Liberty account on that platform and share the content because it's probably already there. You can help us beat the algorithm by leaving us at least 7 words in the comments sections. 7 words is the magic number that the algorithm needs to determine that your engagement is meaningful and that it should therefore suggest our content to other people who watch the same types of things that you watch. 2 claps and a Rick. We are entering dangerous territory. Join or die, fam. Woo!
And now it's time for the Throatpunch!
Obligatory Mikey appearance so that you don't come for me in the comments about where's admin Mikey.